Do you or someone you know live in a homeowners association? And if so, have you had any of these negative experiences like this couple? Check this out.
When I first bought this house, I was very excited. Seemed like it was a very nice, cozy, close-knit community. Then it started turning into a horror story.
I'm a huge believer that, you do sign away your civil rights when you're signing into an HOA or a condo association.
Inostroza's annual dues for their HOA in Noonan, Georgia is $200 per year, which is lower than the national average. So on paper, their HOA membership doesn't seem like that much of a financial burden, but that's not been their reality.
When we moved in 2008, we found out that there was a balance that was attached to the home because it had been sitting in the community, and they were fining us for that balance and late fees and any other type of fines that they would put onto the home for lawn care or anything. All of that was attached to this home when we moved in.
From 2008 to 2014, we tried getting in contact with the HOA and we never had a reply from them. And we just kept trying and no answer.
By August 2015, the HOA put a lien on the Inostrozas' home. In the court documents, the HOA said the Inostrozas owed more than $1,600. A lien is when a party has a legal claim to an asset, such as a home, which can serve as collateral to satisfy unpaid debt. This can open the door to the HOA escalating to the next level of debt collection, such as foreclosing on the home or, in the Inostrozas' case, garnishing wages.
And rooted in the desire for municipalities to offload their responsibilities for taking care of things that you would normally associate with paying your taxes.
Homeowners associations provide value to owners.
But there's been a backlash to HOAs because of some homeowners' negative experiences.
It's a matter of personal preference. Some people like anchovies on their pizza and some don't. Some people really like living in homeowners associations. Others don't like it.
So why are HOAs so powerful? Homeowners associations are run by a board of directors that's made up of volunteers who own property in the community. The HOA typically handles communal responsibilities, which can vary from managing amenities such as swimming pools to making sure property owners follow home maintenance rules. The board may hire a management company, which tend to be for-profit, to help run the day-to-day operations. Homeowners in the community pay into a fund for the HOA to have an operating budget. In the US, the typical home in an HOA pays between $200 and $300 per month in fees. HOAs have the authority to hand out fines to residents in the community that the association feels is not following the rules. Those fines may also accrue interest in some cases.
Mid-2015, they started garnishing my wages. The first time I learned of that was when I got my first paycheck that they garnished. I didn't get any prior notice. I got a notice 2 weeks after.
If you live in a homeowners association, did you know that they were a for-profit organization? Also, most businesses in the area are the ones that actually run the homeowners association for profit. And when it comes to garnishing my checks and, charging me interest, that's something you need to let me know up front so I can make the decision if I want to proceed or not. So that's definitely wool over your eyes. So let's keep going.
Even though the HOA was collecting from Jules' paycheck, invoices filed with the court showed they were adding fines rather than deducting from the overall balance. By December 2016, the HOA said the Inostrozas owed more than $4,300.
In 2016, I decided to go into debtor's court. My attorney and the HOA's attorney came to an agreement that I would pay $3,200. We paid in installments, and we finally paid that off in January of this year.
But it seemed like never got to the management or the homeowner association. Just adding fines and adding interest. That's all they was doing.
So they were still saying that I owed almost $8,000, while my attorney and their attorney agreed on $3,000 something.
I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I had to get an attorney and then they side for me, and then we come up with a payment plan, and the other company or the other party still insist on their way or their amount, with no regard to what the lawyer or the attorney or the judge said. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Inostrozas estimate that they've paid about $12,000 in fines and garnished wages to the HOA, along with thousands of dollars in legal fees to their own attorneys. The latest invoice they received on August 18, 2023, says they still hold a balance.
Even after paying $12,000, they're still saying that we owe them $8,000.
After the past 10 years.
I'm sure at some point they had to say to themselves, they just don't want us here. Obviously.
CNBC reached out to Homeowners Management LLC for comment and received automated responses directing us to contact the current management company as of August 2023. A representative from the current management company, Century Management, told CNBC, because it just became the management company for this community in the last couple of months, Century has little ability to comment on historical facts regarding the Inestrosas case. The former director of the HOA board, who oversaw the association from 2020 until her resignation in October 2023, declined CNBC's request for comment. The attorneys representing the HOA board did not respond to CNBC's repeated requests for comment. Jessica Navas and Matt Bazone, who are also homeowners in the subdivision, began investigating their HOA.
I started to have this feeling that there was something odd about the HOA during the pandemic.
They discovered a history of at least 25 foreclosures in the community over the past 15 years.
Just one house can have a record between 2 to 3 foreclosures within that time frame.
If Jessica hadn't just took the initiative to go to everyone in the community that she knew were homeowners, we never would have known any of this, because all we did was basically go to work, come home, raise our children, that's it. And we never knew that anybody else was going through this, because for the longest I felt like, is it just me?
I'm willing to bet that everybody that was foreclosed on was somebody of color. 9 times out of 10, that's why the previous person that was running the HOA resigned and declined comment, because she knew she was on that bullshit.
I feel like HOA could be a positive thing when the community work together, keeping our houses looking good and good for property value.
A big part of an HOA sales pitch is that the presence of the organization can help increase property values.
The board is responsible for protecting property values. For most people in the United States, the single biggest investment they're ever going to make.
There's mixed evidence about whether this is true. A 2019 study found that on average, HOA homes cost at least 4% more than non-HOA homes. That comes out to an extra $13,500. But those property values can vary significantly by location. A different 2019 analysis of 3 U.S. cities found that the home values in HOA areas were less than those in neighborhoods without them. The Inestrosas property value has increased between the time they bought it in 2008 following the housing crash to 2023.
I don't think that HOA has anything to do with our property value going up.
I feel with the HOA, the management company don't increase the property value. They're just there as employees, the community that increase the value of the property.
HOAs can also be necessary in order to manage shared amenities or land, which can be a value add for homeowners.
There are associations out there that handle all the landscaping. Even though you may own your lot, the association cuts the grass and they do all the landscaping. So is that a cost saving? Sure.
Management companies can help a community function smoothly, especially when a board of volunteers needs assistance.
One large company will manage 20 or 30 or 40 HOAs in a region, and they tend to have it down to a science. They know how to deal with trash pickup, they know how to deal with yard maintenance, they know how to deal with complaints, they have their fines and their enforcement down to a science.
Relying too much on a property management company is going to cause problems, and relying too much on the homeowners to run their own association is also going to cause problems.
The management company and the manager are simply a contractor to carry out the board's direction. They may handle all of that routine activity on behalf of the board, but those folks who live in the community and volunteer remain the decision-making authority. The board in that situation is still responsible. They are still the fiduciary. They are legally and financially responsible for the decision-making in that community.
I think that there are times and places for HOAs, and I think that they could be positive. But the abuse negates that benefit.